What up, Flex fam? Back for another episode. As promised, I wanted to do some analysis on the Jontay Porter scandal situation that has unfolded right before our eyes. And I want to do this in a mature way because everything that I'm seeing online and stuff is just mere jokes all over the place. And some of it is funny. Some of it is funny, but this is not a laughing matter. This is not a laughing matter, yo. There's real people involved with this, and this is like a bigger than basketball thing in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? A bigger than basketball thing in my eyes. And, you know, I know a lot of people are busy. I know a lot of people have heard of what has happened here. But in case you don't know, basically, Jontay Porter signed with the Raptors on December 8th, 2023 on a two-way contract. And basically, he was getting minutes with the Raptors. He was getting minutes with the Raptors. I remember his first game with us. He basically started, if my memory serves me correctly, and he just got thrown into a tough spot. And I'm like, you wanna know what? This kid's got fundamentals. This kid's got, looks like he could shoot the basketball from range. He could move a little bit. It looked a little bit undersized depending on, who you're going up against in the middle. Like you don't want him guarding like a Embiid or like a Jokic type thing. But like in terms of most of the bigs in the NBA, based on how the game is being played in this era, Jontay Porter looked like he could be a serviceable backup for us. A serviceable backup, especially in a season where the Raptors were missing Christian Coloco. You ended up trading away Precious Achua. You ended up trading away Thad Young. Jakob Pertl got injured. So, like, there was a pathway for Jontay Porter to really show what he can do on this team and earn a contract for next season. I'm not saying this is a guy that would be a starter or anything like that. Like when you look at like his stats and stuff, like it's nothing to like, write home about. He averaged only 1.3 or I shouldn't say 4.4 points per game, almost a block, almost a steal, a few assists, three rebounds. He shot 83% from the line. Um from 3-point range, he was 33%. He only shot 2.8 threes per game while he was with the Raptors. Sorry, 2.3 threes per game while he was with the Raptors. And he hit just under one a clip at 0.8. And remember that stat because that's going to come into play now when we start talking a little bit more about this scandal, right? Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, help out your boy, sub up. The kids are in bed and I'm just gonna, I'm enjoying myself a beverage. All right. So, basically, Jontay Porter found himself in some hot water. Some hot water, man. So I'm gonna take this um article from the Globe and Mail. I thought it was I'm not sure exactly where they got it from. Maybe it was Associated Press. I know a lot of websites just basically just copy and paste the Associated Press stuff. But I like the way that it was laid out. So I'm gonna read over a little bit. I'll probably do an overlay, but this is basically what happened with Jontay Porter. In case you're not aware, for those that are aware, just hang with me for a minute, okay? Article goes as a once promising player with the Toronto Raptors was banned for life by the National Basketball Association on Wednesday. This was literally yesterday, okay? Wednesday. After the league said he had disclosed confidential information to sports bettors and wagered on NBA games. So when we say wager, that means he's betting on NBA games. Jontay Porter, age 24, is the first athlete to be banned for life by the major North American League since single event sports gambling was legalized in the United States in 2018 and Canada in 2021. The league added that Mr. Porter had placed at least 13 bets on NBA games using the online betting account of an associate. That don't sound like a friend to me, dog. While traveling with the while traveling with the Raptors on their development league team between January and March of this year. In one instance, he even bet against the Raptors. The team won. The league said Mr. Porter did not play in any of the games he wagered on. Okay, skipping through. Mr. Porter, who signed with the Raptors midway through the season in hopes of finally making a real run in the big leagues, is a former college star. He had a partial season contract worth about $410,000 US after spending time with the club's development league team, the Raptors 905. If things had gone well, he had been eligible for a contract next season of approximately 2.1 million US. La Jesus. Okay, so here's where we gotta pay attention to what he actually did here, and then we're gonna have some conversation on it. Okay, Mr. Porter had played 26 games for the Raptors, starting in 5 of them, when he was suspended last month after allegations surfaced that someone had placed an $80,000 wager that Mr. Porter would make fewer than two three-point baskets during the team's game on March 20th against the Sacramento Kings. He had played less than 3 minutes of the game, missing one field goal attempt and not even attempting any three-point shots before pulling himself out of the lineup, citing ill health. The size of the bet of the size of the bet of a sort known as a proposition or a prop bet, in which gamblers wager on the outcome of a single event in a game, such as a strikeout in baseball or a goal in hockey, was unusual given that Mr. Porter was a low visibility player who was unlikely to attract much betting on action. The bet, which would have paid out more than $1.1 million, was canceled by the unidentified sports book. The NBA said the bet was brought to the league's attention by licensed sports betting operators and organization that monitors legal betting. In a statement, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said that while legal betting creates transparency that helps identify suspicious or abnormal activity, this matter also raises important issues about the sufficiency of the regulatory framework currently in place, including the types of bets offered on our games and players. I don't know, man. I don't know, right? Like, so obviously, when it comes to sports betting and stuff like that, right? This was one of the challenges. This was one of the things that once legalized betting, or I guess betting, gambling became legalized in sports across America and stuff like that. This is what the masses were worried about, right? Players that are like not star players, not players that are like making millions of dollars in the league, right? Bottom of the roster or end of the roster players potentially doing things to throw games, or even just it could be anyone, not even back of the roster. It could be anyone. It could be anyone. But like the way I look at this is there's two sides to every story, yo. There's two sides to every story. When I told my boy about this a couple of weeks ago, he's like, I was telling him about, he's like, yo, how come you're not covering it deep on the channel? And I'm like, you want to know what, man? I just want to wait for like the facts to come out about this thing, right? Because at the time that again, right? They just banned him yesterday. They just banned him yesterday. At the time when I was having this conversation with my boy, I'm like, bro, like I don't know. The NBA is just investigating it. We don't really know what he did. He don't need to do anything like that, right? He don't need to do that, you know. But at the same time, it's like we don't know what people are going through, right? We don't know what people got themselves into. Like my boy was saying, maybe he just got mixed up with the wrong people and right? And that possibly could have happened here because the article says associate, a known associate, right? But the article also mentioned that there was 13 bets that were placed, but none of them were games that he played in outside this one game here, right? So obviously, like you can't do this type of stuff. You can't do this stuff because it compromises the integrity of the game, right? We all understand that, right? But everything I'm hearing from anyone that's covering this situation, like no one's really asking the question as to like what's up with dude? What's up with dude? Because in order to do something like this, it could be something like what my brethren said. Maybe you got caught up in a situation We don't know what you're doing. But at the end of the day, like gambling is like a real addiction, right? Gambling is a real addiction. You hear about people losing homes, losing families, losing jobs, losing all kinds of things due to gambling and betting, right? All types of things. This is not a new concept. This is not a new concept. Now, that's not to like absolve him from like all wrongdoing, right? Like, yo, one time I messed up as a kid, and my mom made me write lines one time. I thought I was just gonna get licks, eh? Thought I was gonna get licks. My mom's like, nah, you're gonna go write like I think it was like 5,000 lines or something, yo. I was working for days on these lines, yo. It is I am responsible for my own actions, right? I'll never forget that because I wrote it so many times. Like my mom made me drill that into my head just by writing it so many times. I am responsible for my own actions. You can't blame other people, right? So that's not to absolve Jontay Porter from any wrongdoing. But at the same time, it's like when people deal with addictions, like there's no telling what people are gonna do when they're dealing with addictions. No telling. Is the NBA or the Players Association gonna help this guy get any type of help, or you just banishing him and then yo, you're gone? We don't want nothing to do with you. Like I understand, like at the same time you're compromising the game and things of that nature. But like, what about the player? What about the human? What about the human aspect of this? If the man truly has like a gambling problem or something, like I would think that the NBA would have had something in place to help people because you're introducing this new thing into the league. I would think that you would have had some support system in place in order to help these players. And this is something that we see from sports leagues all the time. All the time. That's not to absolve anybody of any wrongdoing. It's not, right? But like I'm tired of these leagues just throwing mans out when you know where like situations that mans come from or women they come from, the type of you know socio backgrounds and stuff like that that people got, man. And every time that man's make a mistake like that, you just getting rid of them. Now that's not to say again, it's not to say that he's right for this or anything like that, yo. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. But like, I don't know. Maybe they do have something in place where they're helping Jontay Porter, but like, I'm not hearing nobody bring up those parts and ask those questions because it's a real thing. It's a real thing. People suffer in silence every day for all types of different addictions. All types. So does this lifetime ban have any way to kind of like be like, yo, if you satisfy this, and this, and this, and this on the checklist, that you can go back and have a hearing and possibly get reinstated? I don't know. I'm not hearing nothing like that. I'm not hearing nothing like that. All I'm hearing is that he's out of here. He's banned for life, lifetime ban. And what the NBA is doing is they're making an example out of Jontay Porter. They're making an example out of him. Now I understand why they're doing that. They're trying to deter other players from doing dumb shit like this. I get that. I get that 1000%. But like you see this in all types of like even if like you look at like the criminal justice system, the correctional facilities and things of that nature, yo. Deterrence, deterrence, deterrence. I used to study criminology back in university when I went for a couple of years or whatever, right? Paying my way through, working full time, doing all types of things, rapping. I was on a grind, But at the same time, I wrote this paper, and they were talking about like deterrence and like recidivism and those types of things. Like deterrence doesn't work because there's a high um probability of recidivism based on the statistical analysis that you see from the stats. So you can't just deter people through putting down a heavy fist, yo. And I'm not, and it's not that I'm like saying that this is like a criminal thing that he did. Maybe they're treating it that way. I don't really know. But if we talk about like civil law type of thing, if they're wrong about this, right? because I'm not really sure what happened in terms of like the investigation, what they really saw. Because obviously there's more details in this, right? I'm just reading a quick little article from Globe and Mail and stuff. But like I said earlier, there's two sides to a story. Does Jontay Porter now have the ability to go back and sue the NBA now for negligence, right? For negligence and for maybe other things. You know what I'm saying? You basically soured the man's name and now you messed up his earning potential in any league. I don't know if he has the ability to go to Europe and all that type of stuff and ball, or go to Philippines, China, these places where they have pro leagues and all that. But like, this is gonna follow him. This is gonna follow him no matter where he goes. No matter where he goes. So if there's something that's messed up now within the investigation where they didn't go back and like do, like, you know what I mean, like like there's something in there where Jontay Porter feels like he's innocent in some sort, maybe he has the grounds to go and sue the NBA. And for a possibility that they're not taking care of him, I don't know what's exactly in the Players Association charter or anything like that, but like, maybe he has a case. Now, again, I'm just throwing things out there because these are things that I'm not really hearing about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really hearing about it. We know he's wrong for betting, but like, no one ever wants to talk about the why and how come. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like, I assume that there's gonna be more details that come out in terms of this situation, More details that come out in this situation, and my heart pours out to him as a human, because if you're really, again, dealing with this addiction thing and it got the best of you and you made a terrible decision, this is a horrible decision. You know what I'm saying? There's almost no excuse for it. Like, even if I'm saying all these things, there's still no excuse for it, right? You'd want to go try to get help for your addiction or something of that nature, especially if you're dealing with the Raptors organization, which is a top-notch organization. You know what I'm saying? Before you do anything stupid like that, and you know that you might have an ability to go and earn multi-millions now, because they said 2.1, right? Multi-millions. I don't know. Maybe you should have talked to somebody, And like, maybe that's a thing that we need to have with some of our younger players too. Just a better support system, His brother's in the NBA. His brother's in the NBA. If you're gonna have a conversation with anybody, it's at least gotta be your bro. At least. Now, I'm not putting this on Michael Porter. It's not. I mean, maybe he tried to get him help, and maybe Jontay just didn't take it. We don't know. We don't know. But this is a human level thing. This is a human level thing. This is a young man that had an opportunity to go make some real bread and continue to help their family for generations, right? And now, over one decision, I guess over a string of bad decisions, it's over. It's over. But there's gonna be more details that comes out on this. Like, I don't think this is a thing where like we just don't hear about this ever again. Don't be surprised you hear something in August, September, right before the NBA season training camps, that Jontay Porter is doing his own thing. You know what I mean? With the league. If there's something there, I don't know. I don't know. But from the NBA standpoint, again, there is a lot of money tied up in, sports betting and stuff like that with the NBA. And you don't want to have to start having integrity issues within the sport, because you can look back to Donahue. Is it Donahue or Donahue? The referee that was doing dumb things like that to throw games. Remember? I watched a thing on Netflix with this guy. I forget what it was called, but like, yeah, this guy's taking bread, doing things, getting caught up with situations, Who said the same thing can't happen to him, to Jontay Porter? Now, I'm not saying these things are right or wrong, but people got addictions. People got addictions. We need to have a better support system for these guys. And at the end of the day, even with all that being said, Jontay Porter, you are responsible for your own actions. So you're gonna have to wear this one. And you know, it's really unfortunate from a Raptors standpoint. Like I found the timing like really intriguing, or maybe that's not the right word, yo. Interesting, because I was listening to on Wednesday. I listened to Masai Ujiri doing his press conference or whatever. Right, I think it may have ended around like quarter to 12, and then all of a sudden, like half an hour later, news dropped. You know what I'm saying? Jontay Porter banned. And like, yo, the NBA did him a solid because imagine the NBA now would have went and dropped that ban now before Masai Ujiri does his end of the season press conference. All the questions would have been on about Jontay Porter. And Jontay Porter, they still asked him mad questions. But like, I truly believe that Masai Ujiri genuinely did not know that the ban was there in place while he's doing that press conference. That's what I believe. Whether he did know it or not, and he's just not going to speak on it because he's not at the liberty to speak about it, could be that too. But the vibes that I got is like he genuinely just did not know that's what it was. Maybe he was a little bit more in the know in terms of what was happening with the NBA investigation based on the questions that that were being asked, and maybe the some of the answers that he provided, where he's like probably like, damn, maybe I did see something, but I didn't really like see it because I didn't know to look for it in that time. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's speculation. I'm really not too sure. But like the timing on it was mad interesting. It's like right after Masai finished his press conference, Adam Silver said, "Yo, give it a 20 minutes and then drop that." Boom, ban. So, anyways, that's my take on it. I want to kind of look at it more from like a human level type situation, and hopefully Jontay Porter gets the help that he needs if this is indeed just an issue that he has, like that he needs to deal with, and really he knew what he was doing, then he's gonna have to deal with that, right? He's gonna have to deal with that from an NBA standpoint. Uh, Man, young fellas that are listening to this, and maybe your goal is to make it to the NBA or whatever, don't do no dumb things. If an associate or a friend asks you to do something stupid, just don't do it, yo. Most of us have proper brought up see, yo. Most of us do. We know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? You know you can't like do dumb things because you may get, sent up or whatever, like those types of ones. Like keep yourself clean, stay focused on the game, stay focused on your goals, and manifest, bro. That's what it's about. So anyways, that's all I just wanted to say for this one. Just wanted to get this off my chest a little bit because it was kind of bothering me a little bit. And from a Raptors standpoint, like we need some bigs. We need some bigs, man. We need another big, yo. I mean, yo, go back and watch the video from earlier today, episode 59, a fan's perspective, where I talked about the debrief of the Toronto Raptors season. But I just wanted to do something specific for the Jontay Porter scandal situation. So, anyways, man, if you're digging it, please like, share, subscribe, and the flex, man. It's me, and I'm out.